You're watching TelecomTV from the TIP Summit at the Fuse 2022 event in Madrid. And joining me now is Cayetano Carbajo, who is Director of Core Transport and Service Platforms, CTIO for Telefónica. Cayetano, good to see you. Thanks very much for talking with us. I'd like to ask you first of all about the challenges and the biggest challenges that Telefónica faces, and other operators as well, in their data transport networks. Is it a case of keeping capacity in line with demand? Is this a major challenge that you have?
For sure, this is a challenge, but not only that challenge. We have to do that in an efficient way, meaning our revenue is not growing fast, but our traffic is growing very fast. So we have to increase our efficiency day by day. And this can be understood in two fashions. One is you have to have equipment that are more capable of transporting capacity at the same cost, but also your possibility for automation and making the operation of the network more efficient has to increase. So our dream is to have a zero-touch network that we have to spend not that big amount of money in operating the network, and that this network is scalable at a very low cost. This is the target, yes.
You spoke there of zero-touch network, and we've been speaking in the industry about zero-touch for quite some time. Is this still a big challenge? Are we still a few years away from realizing this?
I think automation is a key element for our transformation. We are transforming our operational model, we are transforming our network, and automation is a key part. Fortunately, we have technology now that is bringing us a lot of possibility for automation. Artificial intelligence is one of those. SDN, for instance, in the case of transport, is another one. But we have to make use of all this to be able to automate as much as we can. This will not impact only our cost, but also the quality of our network. Network will be much more reliable if they are highly automated.
Now, disaggregation is a major theme here at the event. How can the disaggregation of network elements such as routing platforms, how can this help you overcome some of these challenges?
I think with disaggregation we can do two things. First is we can increase the level of automation. So opening up interfaces, make it easier to automate, to extract data from the equipment and then automate, but also exchanging hardware and software vendors. Maybe we can find more efficient equipment. So the combination of the right hardware and right software can bring costs down for sure.
Now, you're speaking at the TIP Summit and the Fuse event, and your focus at this event is going to be on the metaverse and extended reality. Is that the case? And making sure that our networks are ready for this. Now, this is the first time that this event has really focused on this aspect. It's something that's got a lot of attention at the moment, and at the same time, so a degree of skepticism as to will this really happen, and how, if it does happen, how will the telecoms networks play a role?
I think there's a lot of questions in front of us, but certainly if metaverse happen to the extent that everybody is talking about, the impact in network will be huge. The request of a metaverse session for the network in terms of throughput or in terms of latency are huge. So it is clear that we will not be able to deliver this high amount of throughput and very low latency for everybody, everywhere, at every time. So we need to define a way of having specific needs served by a specific means, meaning prioritizing the traffic or the latency for those usages that really need them, like a metaverse session. I mean, I'm talking about virtual reality or augmented reality, for instance. So doing that and having, for instance, slicing or network as a service, I mean, network APIs, will be a key enabler for metaverse, because if not, if I have to deliver 100 megabits per second, 1 millisecond latency for 10 million people in a given city, I think it will take some time to be real. But with these specialized services for specialization, thanks to NAS, maybe we will achieve that. Yeah.
Well, could we expand on that a moment? Because the whole network as a service area is very, very interesting as well. So how exactly will it help in achieve these goals?
So network as a service, I mean, what it's doing is exposing network capabilities, and we can expose many capabilities. One of the capabilities we can expose is, for instance, negotiating with the application that a given flow, a given IP flow, is prioritized versus others. For instance, that doesn't mean that we are not fulfilling net neutrality. For sure, we will fulfill net neutrality, but there are some means for providing specialized services to customers that really need that. And this negotiation will be done with network APIs. This is one example, but we can provide location of a given device, or we can provide many other capability that network has, and maybe developer of an application thinks that is useful for his application.
Now, you spoke earlier about how disaggregation can help with network automation. Are there other factors that are going to still important and are still challenges in order for you to fully realize network automation?
There are many challenges. I mean, we're working in network automation in many different fashion. The first point is legacy, meaning even if we are working for having more element of the network disaggregated, we have a bunch of legacy that we have to work with, and the possibility of automation for this element is lower. Okay, there are some other technology that are in the opposite side very new, and then all the OSS and management capability are not so advanced, and then we have to work on this. So for sure, we're working in automation in many different topics, and not all of them are solved.
So finally, what advances would you like to see in the industry and and by the TIP community? What should the community be focusing on that will help you in the work that you need to do on your network?
I think, as said, having a more efficient network element, having more capable and more intelligent. So for instance, having more possibility of exposing APIs could be interesting, and having more possibility of automation. But in any case, disaggregation always brings things that you didn't think about. For instance, we are in one of our operations in Telefónica, we are changing completely the software of the router, the IP router we have, without touching the routers. So we are keeping the hardware there. We want to change the provider, but the only thing we are doing is changing the software remotely. Without disaggregation and without the progress we have done with the disaggregated router in Telefónica, this will never be possible to be done.
Great. Cayetano, thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure talking with you.
Has been my pleasure. Thank you.